Hey guys, it's Eric. Today we continue the series for the next Mega Man game that I would like to see made by Capcom. And today we'll cover the second game in the series. The first one had to do with Mega Man. The second one will have to do with Zero. Okay? So the second game, the title can be Zero something with his name in it. I haven't decided on the title yet, but let's see. So it's going to be kind of, in terms of graphics, it's going to be the same as the other game, same as Mega Man X. It will be realistic graphics, realistic Zero with armor and his long blonde hair, looking as real as possible, not as much so animated. So graphically it should look pretty interesting. I'd love to see it. He'll have his own story, and Mega Man will have their own stories. Alright, in their first two games, they're going to have their own stories. Alright? It'll have to do with the same universe. Some of the places Zero visits can be some of the same places Mega Man X visits. It could happen. Or it could be his own area, his own world that he's exploring. Okay? I'd rather it be that way. Anyway, next, in terms of gameplay, it's going to be something like Ninja Gaiden, Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, somewhere around those lines. It's going to be a third-person action game, but he has a sword, not a gun. So it's going to have to be something like he can bounce off the walls, you know, he's fast, he's light off his feet, he can jump high. Combos with the sword, you unlock combos throughout. You could also think God of War as well. So that would be awesome. I'd love to see that. Okay, I know in I think X7 or X8 you're allowed to switch characters and play as different characters and stuff like that. This would just be Zero, and it would be focused mainly on his gameplay, okay? And he has to have armors too. I always was upset when I played X4, X5. Zero really didn't have any armor upgrades. He got upgrades, but it wasn't any change to the design. And I want to see armor upgrades. Well, except for Black Zero. I'd like to see some different designs of armors for him that he can collect. That he can, maybe his sword gets longer. Or maybe it's shorter but it's more powerful, or just different armor pieces as well. Also, the armor would be destructible, just like in the X version. He'll also unlock, of course, new attacks after beating the bosses. The bosses will have weaknesses, just like in the old games. Okay, just like, I forgot to mention that in the X game, but the bosses will have weaknesses, but it's not going to be so easy. Okay? Just put it that way. He will have to have a maybe short-range weapon, short-range shotgun maybe, something with a little distance to it. Because he did have, if you played X5 and you chose him first, I think he had a little buster, small, something little, not as powerful, something that's maybe just if you ever play any of the Gundam games, and they have the little bullets that fly out of their eyes, they're really weak, very light effect, but maybe something like that for Zero. Doesn't do a lot of damage, just slight damage to enemies. Let's see. So I think of the game of God of War, he could have multiple swords that do different things, and you'd be able to switch between your weapons very quickly. Certain enemies will be weak to certain things, and so on and so forth. I also think of, what was I playing? God of War, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, Devil May Cry, how he's able to switch between his weapons. And certain enemies were only weak to fire, and certain ones were only weak to the ice and stuff like that. The fire, the demon axe, and the heavenly scythe, I think it was. So, something like that. Let's see. story-wise, he's going to have his own story, his own set of bosses. It's not going to be the same as X. Okay, he's going to go through things differently. Gameplay is going to be designed differently. The bosses are going to be designed differently to face. X, it's going to be more of a close-range battle. So, also, I was able to get the video up this time, the intro video, which I'm going to use throughout this series. I had to do Windows Live Movie Maker. I thought I could go and upload my stuff to YouTube and then directly in YouTube add it, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. I don't know if you can. If you can, please tell me how you do it. In YouTube, can I just add the intro video separately? So, or do I have to use an outside program? So those are the two games to start. You're going to have Mega Man X and Zero. You could say Zero. Still working on the title. Ultimate Zero. I don't know. So it's going to be interesting. In terms of multiplayer, I don't know how you'd have that. You'd have two people playing Zero, different armors, different abilities, facing off against each other. A while ago, Ninja Gaiden was supposed to have a multiplayer. It did, where you could face another ninja. Okay? It could be something along those lines. It just has to be polished and well done. Okay? And that's the hard part about making a multiplayer with someone like Zero. But it can be done, and I'd like to see it done. Okay? So, that's the second video. Now, my third video, I'm either going to introduce the third game, or I'm going to go back to X and explain more. But I think for today's purposes, I'm going to just introduce the third game in the next video. Just because I'm so excited for it, I'm just going to give you the general idea of it. And if you can, subscribe, and please spread this video, share it, tell your friends. If you like the idea, send the idea to Capcom. I want them to do this game. I want them to take their time with it and not rush it. Both of these games. So, okay? Alright, guys. Thanks for watching this video. And I'll be uploading the third video very shortly. I'm out.